All right, we are live.
We
Hello and welcome. I am Ronnke, your GM, and in the stream today we have Rigel Kent, Geigerman, and FX Engineer. Today we are playing a Traveller campaign set in the Third Imperium era. We are using the very awesome GURPS system by Steve Jackson Games, and our VTT of choice is Fantasy Grounds. You can find this and past sessions on YouTube and as audio-only podcasts. Links are in the video description. If you enjoy our content, please like this video and subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube channels. Before we kick off with our character intros, is there any character business that we want to take care of? Geigerman, do you have any business for Dean?
Forgot you were doing intros. We haven't done that yet. No, nothing for Dean at the moment.
Rigel Kent, do you have any character business for Flynn?
Yep, I retroactively improved my detect lies by a point, so it's at 12, and added electronic ops security.
Cool. This will be the third session, so
Yep.
this will be the last session which you can make random changes. FX Engineer, do you have any character business for Sully?
I just making a note. I generally kept the same skills that I have. I just kind of moved around some points a little bit. And I do have 10 points unspent. I'm not sure if I want to take like a talent, another level of my talent, or divide it in my skills. So for now, I'll leave it there, but I'll have it for next time. So so no character business, but just a note.
All right, so I think you're one session behind everyone else. So you've got one more session in which you can just make random changes to your character.
Yeah, it'll be helpful just to kind of see what his role, where he kind of falls into the party with what I want to play and how everybody else is playing. So that's why I didn't know where to put the points just yet.
All right, we shall carry on from where we left off. Last session, you guys delivered the bribe to Jaro Cass, who gave you a code word that you should announce anytime that you find yourself being harassed by unsavory people in the Reach.
Yeah, we have friends everywhere.
Does that mean we're savory?
Good God, no.
Who knows? It's up to you.
Well, I did want to point out that James Sully got shot. So I know he's got I think like 3 points of damage. Can't remember if it was in the leg. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Not
So
seeing any damage.
Well, he did get shot in the leg for 3 points of damage.
He re-imported.
And he did want to try to develop what's his name? Jaro Cass as a potential future contact and see if he can't find some speculative trade before we leave port.
All right, we shall take care of trade. As was voiced, the captain does allow the crew to take on board any spec trade that they want. You have to use whatever cargo space is unavailable or unused, and then that has to be sort of divided amongst any crew that are partaking in this. The captain will or does request that he gets his cut, which is 10% of anything that you make. And obviously, if you make a loss, that's on you. He only claims profits.
Nope. He has to pay us, if we make a loss.
That is not going to happen. Those of you that have enemies and such, could you please make a roll into the box for me, please?
I was literally just about to ask when that would trigger, because I know it's like per adventure, whereas secret is per session.
Right.
All right. Well, this is a new adventure for the current campaign, so.
Actually, I think I remember rereading that, and enemy was, or one of them was per session or per adventure. If there were
Enemy
multiple
states roll at
adventures.
the beginning of each adventure or at the start of each session of a continuing adventure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So technically every session.
Man, that's dumb.
Well, it makes sense to me.
Doesn't to me, because it's like, okay, say I have an enemy who is going to show up, whatever frequency, but then we have an adventure where we're like all stuck in a can for 6 episodes. Where
Yeah, so then
it doesn't make any sense for the enemy to show up during that.
Yeah, but it does give guidance. Like obviously, then the GM can say, well, he'll make him show up at an appropriate time. So maybe he doesn't show up in that session, but maybe he'll show up in the next session once you get out of the can.
Or maybe he makes it difficult for you while you're there. Somehow.
Right. Maybe the reason you're in the can is because of the enemy.
He's made sure that someone's going to shiv you.
Well, it depends on the enemy. Mine's just a rival.
And the can.
Okay, so I think we decided that we're going to use Interstellar Wars for the trade stuff.
No.
Nope.
We said spaceships.
Spaceships, all right.
We did
was
record
it 2?
that. Spaceships 2, trade.
It's page 35. And actually, I would like to do a focused cargo search.
What are you focusing on?
Aslani porn.
Actually, let's I was going to focus on spices and oils because it's a non-agricultural and it's cheaper for me to buy it here on this planet because it's non-industrial. It's a non-industrial planet or place. So I get a discount in purchasing.
I think we're missing some text there. Saying the destination is non-ag?
No, we are
Industrial?
sorry. We are in Fist is a non-industrial port.
Okay.
So non-industrial items have a they're cheaper.
Gotcha.
So ideally, I could buy something potentially cheaper here than I would anywhere else, and then if we sell it, even if I don't get good rolls, the fact that I bought it cheaper might be the profit.
The first port will be Wildeman or Wildeman.
I think we would go to Pandora, don't we? Because we have a jump 3 ship, and it says that when for if we're gonna be skipping a couple of places.
Is it jump 3? I think I missed that on the stats.
Actually, yes, you do have jump 3, and you can make it to Pandora.
But the standard route is to Wildeman.
Yeah.
Right,
So
but
what is
I think
the?
if you read, I forgot where I read it, but it says that if you have a jump 3 ship,
Yeah,
there's a
we could, but I don't know if that's the official.
Yeah, that's
If
the
that's the
question.
official route, that's where the
what-
ship going, because we don't get to make that call, sadly, until we seize power. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Well, let me see if I could read it, but I think it said I found it somewhere. It said that if you have a jump 3 ship, then they typically there's a couple of planets that they skip because of that, so they don't go to those places. But I guess you're right; it doesn't
Oh,
really matter.
is that on the Florian route thing?
Yeah, yeah. I,
Oh, I may have missed. I
Yeah,
totally
but
would have
that
missed
is
that.
still
Let's
up to
look.
the captain.
well, it would be based on right. We're a freighter, and they're following a route, so they would already have. It's not like, oh well, let's stop here. He's already knows where he's going to stop and drop and pick up cargo. So
Which also means that we know where we're going to be stopping.
correct.
Let's have
And I guess,
the universe decide for this.
but I'm just saying, why have a jump 3 ship when we're stopping every like 1 or 2 jumps?
Well, there might be a good reason to stop there.
He might be trying to get to the further destinations where they have bigger spreads on the cargo.
We'll let the dice decide. On an odd, your first destination will be Wildman. On an even, it'll be Pandora. So that's an odd. So you will be going to Wildman. So obviously the ship has some pickups that it needs pickups or drop off that needs to do at Wildman.
Now, did the route actually say which ones they typically skip?
Yeah, I don't see that. I was looking at
It
that.
did. It did. I honestly don't remember where I read it, but I did. I did read it. It skipped a couple of places, but it doesn't really matter. I can look it up while we play if you want me to.
Yeah, I'm just super curious, and I'm like,
Yeah, well, I would assume that if there are a couple of places they specifically point out that are typically skipped, then that might mean that there's not a whole lot there to bother about.
Well, I do know it saw that. What I did see was that Wildman is a very poor planet.
That would be a good reason to skip that one.
And Pandora is a low population.
Yeah, I think both of them are kind of low pop.
All right, so you're going to look for some spec. I wonder if this cargo table could be turned into a Fantasy Grounds table.
Import it.
Any table can be turned into a table. Just depends on how much time you want to spend.
Well, see, GURPS does this thing where each dice actually is relevant.
Oh, it's doing one of those things.
Yeah, so the first dice and then the second dice.
Yeah. Like you started doing that with the fantasy or dungeon fantasy treasure tables, didn't you?
Yes.
So you'd probably just have to look at that and remind yourself how you were doing that. Because I
think it is
remember
going to end up being super complicated.
Yeah, I remember I started trying to do that and said, "Oh my god, I have no idea what I'm doing. Screw this noise. I'll do it manually."
Well, I think probably the simplest way to get around that is to not break those out into separate tables, but to do one big one and just ignore the dice.
Wildman
I wonder if that
requires
changes.
extensive. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wonder if that changes the odds though.
Maybe a little, but you could potentially compensate for that.
So, from the Traveler Wiki, Wildman is a poor, non-agriculture and non-industrial world. It requires extensive imports of outside technology to maintain a modern starfaring society. It is unable to produce quality foodstuffs and must import them. It has few prospects for economic development. Life here is drastically bleak. I'm like, yeah, I can see why we might want to skip that.
All right, so you are on a Class B starport.
And then
Okay.
Pandora has less than 10,000 people. Wow.
Well, it's not the first one of those we've seen.
Generally, the traveler worlds aren't hugely populated, with the exception of a few.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Is as many systems as are populated in this setting. I wonder if there's even enough people to really pack in. I think it's going to be the case more often than not that people are going to be really spread out.
Good news about Wildman, though, it has a reputation for mysterious occurrences, such as psionic encounters, unusual breakdowns in ships and equipment, and rumors also abound of space kraken sightings.
Excellent. We should go there.
What the hell is a space kraken?
It is a made-up creature that doesn't exist.
Yeah, apparently bulk exports from Lilligan. Yeah, I think that's Lilligan. I don't know if that's supposed to be Illigan, which is right next to it. Provide the majority of food there. So, man, yeah, this place is a pretty crappy place to go to. So I think anything that Sully ends up getting is probably going to sell really well. Although they're super poor, so
Yeah, it depends how much.
All right.
The problem is I don't have a lot of money, and everything's like hundreds of thousands potentially.
Well, the good news is if we're going to a couple of poor places along the way, that means if you just get like a pallet, you might be able to actually offload it.
how much are you throwing into that there, Sully?
Well, I took the wealth, so basically I got I think I've got how much? Let me see. I got 180,000.
Holy cow! And I was like going to go, yeah, I could potentially, put 10 grand in, but you got 100 grand. Wow.
I don't even have one.
Yes, but Sully and Flynn are officers, and you were like, a lowly deck ape.
Well, and I just had a bunch of debts that I had to pay off.
So with this spec freight, is anyone assisting Sully in finding stuff?
Is
Or is
solely
this-
asking for
what
assistance.
What does that require?
Area knowledge is a role that you can use to assist.
I have the Trojan Reach sector area knowledge, which probably wouldn't be as useful here.
Yeah, it's
that's
probably a
just
bit
gonna
too
be-
broad.
That's just going to be general knowledge of the area.
All right, give me a roll.
I can do that.
We'll say -3 because we're doing it into a subsector. Actually,
It goes in jumps of 2, I believe.
like survival defaults to other survival at -2, or is it -3?
No, this is an area class situation, and I believe those go in jumps of 2.
Okay, so -2.
Holy cow! Success by 3.
All right, so you'll get yourself +1. The starport here is quite good, so I'll give you a further +1 to find goods.
All right, yeah. So just I'm using the focus search for spices, which is basically comes out to a -2 to try to find spices on this planet.
All right,
So
so
would be
minus-
+0.
What's that?
It would be +0. To find goods, you need to make a roll against your merchant or streetwise, whichever is lower.
Yep. So I got a +1 for complimentary search, right, from Flynn,
That's for me. Yep.
and then
You got
Plus
a
GM
+1
is,
for the starport.
GM is given a +1. Okay, so I'm at basically a net 0. So just a straight up roll.
Yep.
Oof. I don't even
Okay.
have streetwise.
Oh wait, I guess per these rules, merchant or streetwise, because in the other rules it's like streetwise for underground, illegal shit, and then merchant. But I think actually I have them both the same. Let me see. Yeah, they're both the same. So did that on purpose. Merchant, I rolled 8, success by 7.
Nice.
All right, so success would give you 1 lot. A success by 3 or more would give you 2 lots.
Okay, so
you
I found
find
1 lot.
You find 2 lots of cargo. You succeed by 7.
Oh, sweet. I'm not gonna have enough money.
How much is a lot?
A lot is
Is a lot.
3D. Yeah, it's 3D times 5 tons, 1 lot.
Right, but
There's a
what's
little
the
bit of
price?
math involved. It's
What's the price
8,000
per
per ton. So I roll 3D times 5, and that's the first lot, and then that's 8,000 per ton.
Yep, I'm totally willing to at least put in 10 grand. I mean, it's just a tip or tiny little bit in the bucket since you're.
Well, he may not want to spend it as entire bankroll either.
Oh no, Sully's all in. Um, and he will even try to negotiate something like anyway. So I'm not going to have enough for 2 lots unless the seller wants to cut some sort of a deal.
Do you have the stats on Fist? What was it? Industrial World?
It's a non-industrial, so it's a -2.
It's a -1 on the first die.
Or sorry, -1 on yeah. Wait, what are you talking about? So I'm doing a focus search. So we just need to find the price because I've already determined that I was looking for spices and oils.
Right. Okay.
So now it's determined the purchase price.
Oh, this search takes time.
It's 1 day per search. Yep.
Well, we could totally make the argument that this has been going on since we've been in Fist and been
True.
loading.
But it will depend on how long we've been here.
You've had plenty of time to get stuff. Roll 3D. You want oils and spices. 3D by 5.
That's probably useful at this point to know or at least ballpark, how much space do we actually have available? Because if the company's done its job right, there shouldn't be very much. That looked worse than it was.
There is a fair bit of space available. I think it's...
Yeah, this is only going to take 14 times 5. What's that? 70 tons.
Yeah, there's...
Only.
On the first lot.
There is 70 tons available. I don't have the PDF of the ship in front of me at the moment.
Now, I can't recall if they let you break those up.
They do, but you have to roll. You got to make the rolls. You need a favorable reaction roll. This is the second lot. Is 55 tons.
Well, you got plenty of it.
And you said this was spices and oils?
Well, the table's generic. I suppose the GM can make it, if he wanted to add some flavor, be more specific. But the table's generic. It just says spices, oils. The GM could say it's like a special,
Holy cow.
perfume from wherever.
So you can probably you can afford the second one, but the third one or the first one is going to be really expensive.
So the price.
Yeah, so I
The
will
first
roll.
lot is 560,000. Well, starting, I guess.
Is that the times 8,000?
Was Fist a poor world?
No. Fist is non-agricultural and high tech.
Yeah, that was 14 times 5, which is 70 times 8,000.
Right, so there's
Okay.
no modifiers to this roll. I'll get you to roll 3d6.
Well, there is this the purchase price?
Yes, or to find the actual price.
Okay, so there is modifiers because this is a non-industrial world, so so it's a -1 because spices and oils is NI -1 for price modifier.
Gotcha. All right,
And then and then I'm gonna obviously try to negotiate that down even further.
well, we need to work out the actual price first. So get you to roll 3d6 -1.
All right, so rolled an 11 -1, so 10. So I guess that's pretty much standard.
Standard price. So 8 grand per ton.
And then I'm gonna see if I can do negotiate it. So like a quick contest of merchant.
All right, so
Man, that sucked. I was hoping to get a better roll than that.
quick contest
As
of
you do.
merchant. We'll drop it another 10% if you succeed.
So success by 5 on my roll, merchant.
Oof,
I'm
both of those are
going
super
to-
crazy high.
I'm going to say
They do
this
the
merchant.
10 plus D6 or something like that.
It says 1d plus 10 is a typical opposing roll
Yeah.
on page 37. But I suppose it's GM.
All right.
Fiat.
So skill 12.
Well, now you need to roll an 18.
Because this, we could do this kind
He
of very
fails.
mechanically, like we're doing.
All
Or,
right, so you
it could
succeed.
be.
So,
All right, so I can get it for 90%.
yeah, so 7,200 per ton.
All right, so, okay, what is it? 14 times 5 times 7,200?
So that's the first lot.
I did that wrong. Or is that right? I mean, it's expensive, right?
Well, you got to spend money to make money.
So how many was it? 70 something?
If I did the math right, lot 1 is 504,000, and lot 2 is 396,000.
Well, we haven't worked out the price for the second lot.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought that applied to both. Okay.
Okay, I'll get you to make that 3d6 minus 1 for the price of the second lot.
Oh, I forgot about that. Good call. Oh, yes. So 9 minus 1, so an 8.
So it starts at 90%, so it starts at 7,200.
No, it starts at 80%. Right?
Oh, you didn't do the minus 1, so 80%.
Sweet. And then I'm going to try to negotiate success by 0. Oof.
Oof.
This guy, not a very
Oof.
high score.
Well, apparently
That
he
guy
sucks.
is not great.
Yeah, he fails.
By a lot.
You succeed by 0, so you get an extra 10% off, so 70%.
Sweet. What's that, Rigel? You're my assistant.
308,000? If I'm going off of 440,000 times 0.7, that's 308,000. Just sadly way out of my league.
That's the 55 tons lot.
That's the second one, yeah.
Okay. Well, so I'm gonna have to say, buddy, like we got to work something out. He's like, I don't have enough to buy the whole lot. What can we do here? Maybe you could front me the difference, and when I come back, I'll give you the profit, cut of the profits. Or
Which
one are you
Here's
trying to break
here's a
up?
thought. Here's a thought. Could Sully have maybe checked with other officers of the crew to see if they want to get in on this?
Yeah, he would probably try to do that if we can figure out how to do that with the GM.
All right, so give me a universe reaction roll,
I'm short 120-ish.
and I'll modify it by your margin of success on a fast talk roll.
Well, if it's a reaction roll, can I use all my reaction modifiers, or is it just a straight up plus what you just said?
Well, this is a universe roll here.
So,
Yeah,
so I
so
don't get to use business acumen, merchant, overconfidence.
The universe doesn't care how likable you are.
Okay.
the fast talk roll is to see how well you can try and convince people. So anything that would modify your fast talk, you're welcome to add modifiers. So
Wait, you said universe reaction. Now it's fast talk.
No.
I'm confused.
okay, I'm going to do a universe reaction roll, plus the margin of success on a fast talk.
Can I not do fast talk? Because I'm actually not trying to like trick people.
Diplomacy then?
I'm trying to like, hey, look, this is the deal. I feel like it's going to happen, but no guarantees. I'm
Guess
not
you
trying
use
to.
merchant for that.
I'm not trying to like make them think that it's a, you know, win-win and
Yeah,
bamboozle them.
fast talk has consequences if you fail.
All right, so merchant then if you want. So we'll do it the same. Universe reaction multiplied the margin of success on your merchant. Sorry, not multiplied, added.
Can I do a complimentary role like show 'em my business plan?
Sure. How are you going to do that?
I'm gonna give them like the quick and dirty. So I'm gonna pull out like my notebook and I'm gonna write like some numbers, show them like here's what we buy it for, here's what we sell it, here's what you could make. So not like a full-blown business plan, but some financials.
Nice.
Okay. Add
And
plus
then I'm
one to
gonna
your
say,
merchant.
so I rolled so success by 2 for merchant if I add that plus 1.
Okay, do you have charisma or anything like that?
I don't have charisma. I don't have charisma.
Okay, so give me a universe reaction roll at +2.
This is where you need to roll an 18 FX.
On a good, you have convinced some people to go in.
There you go.
So 14.
Okay, so we're starting at 308,000. Flynn is willing to pledge 10 grand of his money into it, which drops us down to 298.
So out of the rest of the officers, you've got enough to top the whole thing off, or you still need to cut it?
I have 180. So
Question for the GM.
Are you going all in?
Yeah, they'll be able to top it off. So work out what your respective percentages are on the total, and that's what your share will be when it's sold.
we will do equal shares based on the contribution amount is what I'm proposing.
Yeah, and that's how we'll do it.
So yeah, he's gonna do 180 all in. It's the only way to go. He feels he's got a good, we got a good purchase price, 30% discount. So
You
Right,
say
he
we
feels
got
that
the
we can at
got
least
the
break
room
even.
for we got the room for 120, or what is it?
55 tons.
Yes, you'll
Are you
have
just
room.
doing the 55?
Yeah, can't afford both of them, I don't think.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going for both.
Maybe if I would have got like a critical super positive universe reaction roll, the captain would have been like, you know what? I'm gonna give you, here's a 400,000 or something like that.
No, the
Yeah, well,
captain's
the bigger
gonna.
chunk you bite off there, the more you got to offload.
The captain's
All right, so
not going to be part of, or not going to front up any cash unless it's his own personal.
Flynn is, I'm sorry, not Flynn. Sully is pretty happy with the discount, and yeah, so he's good. 10K contribution from Flynn, and then the difference from some other crew members.
So you have 500 tons of cargo available to you,
500. What?
according to the PDF.
Oh, okay, I see. Right. I'm surprised you haven't created the vehicle yet. What's up with that?
Why are you surprised?
I mean, now he's going to go, but I was working on the rule set, blah, blah, blah.
Would this have been from Jaro or some other person as my seller?
Probably
been
a
from-
reputable merchant.
From someone else.
All right. I may potentially want to add him as a contact to have at least one contact on each world. So just something for future thinking?
Well, this lot of cargo was freight that was left over because the regular shipping company overestimated its cargo, didn't have enough to hold this, so this cargo was shifted from normal freight, was written off to the supplier, and sold on the open market.
So we would have got it from one of the brokers.
A broker, yeah.
Okay, but that still might be a good contact for me. But yeah, he's pretty happy. So he's like, "Oh man, Flynn, we're gonna make some money off of this. I'm so excited." He's like, "I can't wait. Good thing we're not stopping in that shithole of a Wildeman."
That's exactly where you're stopping.
Oh my God.
That's your first stop. Doesn't mean you need to sell your cargo there.
Well, it doesn't mean you need to sell all of it. It's yours now.
All right, so have you made note of the total amount of cargo? How much you paid for it, or what your share is, what Flynn's share is, and what the rest of the crew's
Flynn's
share
is 2.51256281%.
There you go.
Boy, it kind of sounds like we need to sheet that.
Thanks, Google.
Yeah, I mean, I have the basic numbers. I got 55 tons of cargo. We bought it for a total of 308,000. So that's our price. And then I got the contributions from everybody, 10, 182, and 116.
I'll leave it to you to work out the various share percentages.
So we just have to sell it for 308 or more. 308 to break even or more to make profit. So I'm good. Can Doc patch me up?
Yes.
Because I think
It's
the
a
first aid
D6
roll
plus
will give
1.
me one hit point back, and then the follow up. We're in high tech world, so I should get a couple hit points
So
back.
you'll get 2 hit points.
And then
Of
one day of
course.
rest will bring me back.
Of course, if you go to the ship's dock to deal with that, he's probably going to want to know how that happened.
I
I'm
just told him
already
that
going to
I
have reported that to
tripped.
the captain.
Have you actually reported?
Locals were, well, no, I reported to the XO. Locals were difficult.
The officer in charge reported the incident. My honor is satisfied. For now.
All right, so I have set the time as 3 p.m. The scheduled departure will be 6 a.m. on 120. So you have a night to do stuff if you wish. Otherwise, we will fast forward to that moment. By doing stuff, I mean anything that you want to do to investigate the possible sabotage or whatnot.
Yeah, I am going to be checking in with the security guy or whoever to find out what we found out, if anything.
So, speaking of that, so now that we have solidified the state of the crew overall, it presents us with a couple of ironies. One being that Lena Farkas, who was the third officer on the ship, or a third mate, third mate is actually responsible for safety inspections and that sort of thing.
Go.
So, oops. And the second irony is that the security officer, which is being handled by the bosun, is in fact Mira.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
And then as the second assistant cargo master, I'm also, it's my department, so I'm involved.
You're not an assistant. You are the cargo master. There is only one.
Okay, so I'm the cargo master, so it's who's in charge of the investigation? Did you say the third? So that'd be Flynn.
Mira Jen's the one who is getting all pissy.
But who has authority to investigate? Is it the you said the third officer, which is Flynn?
No,
No,
she's
I'm
dead.
the second.
Oh,
I'm the second officer.
sorry, I got confused. Who's in charge of the
Hold on.
investigation?
Second mate.
So
You need
Flynn.
this.
No, I have it. I'm just trying to.
Okay.
I'm
Well, that
trying
has
to like
who's
follow along.
who on there.
Yep. We had shared that before. I'm just so you said that the irony is security is, blah blah blah. So who's
Right. If you recall, actually, I'm not sure. Was he officially there? He might not have been here when that happened. So
Oh,
the
yeah.
third mate, Lena Varkas, is dead. She died in the explosion of the session that you weren't here for.
yes. Yep.
Apparently, based off of what Giger's saying, part of her job was to monitor safety and that stuff. So this is kind of her fault. And she was involved with the bosun, Mira, and Mira was all pissy at Flynn for the explosion, and now Flynn or Jens is having to investigate, which is just amusing. Deck cadet, that's funny.
Okay, so um, the reason I was asking is because this is my department. If I'm the cargo master, but I trust Flynn. I wrote it into my backstory that we were both, since we're both from Drynax, that we had met at when you went through, when you went through, and you joined the Star Guard and you became an officer. That's where
Right.
we met. But our careers and our paths diverged. But we're like friends, from 10, 20, however many years ago, from the academy.
One
So
many
he
lots.
trusts. So he trusts you. He's like, okay, well, yeah, Flynn's. I remember Flynn from the academy. He would trust you to take care of it and try not
Well,
to get in your way too much.
so what happened during the loading process, but that's not necessarily on the cargo master to deal with. That is a security issue, and that's on the security officer. The whoever was on gangway watch at that point is ultimately responsible, because if it wasn't somebody that was on the crew, it was somebody that's not on the crew and got aboard.
What's gangway watch?
That's handled by the deck department, and it would have fallen under Jen's probably to handle the assignment on there. But we don't know who actually got assigned.
All right. Well, Flynn, if you need any help, I know a thing or two.
Well, I'm going to be checking in with the bosun anyway, even though she was all pissy at me.
At least she'll be motivated to find a culprit, if not the culprit.
Indeed.
Or she might be the culprit and is just pretending to be all butthurt to hide her motives. Maybe they got into a fight or something.
Maybe. Now
That
she's
is an
gunning for
extreme. That's an extreme plan for a failed relationship.
Very extreme.
Well, women
But
won't put it past them.
Not saying it's not realistic.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so
So yeah, Flynn is going to check in on her for a status report on the investigation.
and what does the captain say? Are we following our schedule? We're leaving,
Yep.
during the investigation. We're
Yep.
not stopping for this.
He doesn't want to stay here in case
Mm-hmm.
case it is external sabotage, and he doesn't want more of them to sneak aboard.
So that does actually bring up a point, is that I would expect the captain at this point to set a 24-hour gangway watch and make sure nobody else gets on the ship at all.
No camp followers.
Well, at this point, while loading's still taking place, people are going to have to come on board, but they'll have to be, vetted.
Would just out of my own curiosity, would Sully be able to use, since I missed that first session, I know we know we're sabotaged. Did we get any clues? Can I use any of my like freight handling skills or anything like that to look for clues, like like forensics type stuff?
No, this wasn't an issue with the cargo, since you weren't here. This was an issue with the loader. So somebody sabotaged the loader.
Right. What I'm saying is, could I go look at the loader and see how it was sabotaged? And maybe we're like, well, who has the abilities to do this kinds of things on our ship?
Yeah, we already did that.
You did all that? Okay. All right. Well, then he's just going to go to his room and start counting his money that he hasn't made yet.
I
And
got
then
one basket.
You
and I'm
actually
putting
don't
all
have
my
any
eggs
money
in
at the moment.
I
All right, so,
believe we
Flynn.
had also determined that the crew is understaffed. Is that not correct?
Technically, no, although we're short a third officer at this point.
I thought that we were understaffed if we had the bucket duty added in as well.
Now I don't know what the GM said about the PCs being involved in bucket duty, but
Of course, we're going to have to be on bucket duty.
that we have auxiliary crew specifically for that purpose.
I'm going to copy this image into the images.
But no, we are technically at this point adequately staffed.
Just
Minus
quick
the
side
one
question.
officer.
What's our ranks? So let's say Flynn is a second mate. What do I call you, Flynn?
Oh, as far as titles?
In terms of being formality, yeah, for titles.
Well, this is a civilian company. I don't know that you'd necessarily even bother with that.
Okay.
I mean, you've got some Navy experience. You might still sort of default to that. I know Dean probably will, but yeah, I don't know how that works exactly.
I think it just depends on if it's kind of a relaxed, casual, informal ship captain.
I figured everybody's just calling each other by their
So,
names, just like you do at a normal company.
okay, then yeah, I guess I'll be like, hey, Flynn, so I'll be down in the, my bunk room if you need me for anything.
Very good.
Let's see.
Oh, wow. 3-section watch rotation, not too bad. At least we're not port and starboard.
Yeah, the issue with that though is who's actually on the teams.
You are team 2.
Who's you?
You guys.
Probably plus some NPCs.
So who's on team 1 and team 3 then?
There's got to be like one person who's what was it, like Starship qualified, whatever, on watch at all times. So that would probably be the captain, the XO, and the second mate.
I was actually kind of surprised to hear that engineering department, at least on current real life ships, they don't actually do 24-hour duty.
You said duty.
Damn it, that didn't work.
All of our watches went away. You broke it.
I broke it.
Yep, we're doing all this work. We're going to figure it out. And then, like, at the end of the session, Ronnke's going to blow up the ship while we're stuck on the small one.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be funny if that never happens.
Well, I'm just thinking, if that happens, the first thing we're going to hear is Sully screaming as he realizes his 300 whatever is gone.
That's not what I wanted. That's better.
Oh yeah, I wonder there, FX, if I asked Google the wrong question. I may have asked about 398 instead of 308.
Did that share?
Yes.
I don't see anything yet.
Well, I see the watch.
Oh, I see the watch, Bill. Yes.
I'm going to stick a token down.
Yeah, I think I asked the wrong question there, FX. When I originally asked, I had asked about the starting number, the 398, and then we got it down to 308.
Yeah. Nope. That makes sense.
Yes, 3.25 is much better.
Well, I guess that works.
Why is it doing that?
Is it snapping to grid?
All sorted.
Is it?
So you are currently in day 2.
Right. And you said it is
3
p.m.
3 p.m.
So technically, I guess, what's the red
We're
mean?
not.
Does that mean you're off duty?
No. So we're if all the PCs happen to be on team 2, however that works, then That means we're off duty right now because it's 3 p.m.
Which is
Your-
afternoon watch.
Your next watch will be
So the white is off duty. What is
No,
and the other one?
the
White-
white is team 2.
So, I mean, so how we did it in the Navy, if we were on 3-section, we would just break our days up into 8-hour days. If we had 3 sections, so that's 24-hour days.
Yeah, see, I don't think this ship is going to run 3-section watch like this.
And then we would do like the first 8 hours would be your watch. The second 8 hours would be like maintenance, training, lunch, working out, whatever. Or no, sorry, like working. And then the third 8 hours would be like your sleeping time. And then you'd wake up and get back on watch and kind of rinse and repeat.
so according to this anyway, your next watch will be at 1600. So you're currently off duty
On day 2?
on day 2. That's your next watch.
That's 1800, not 1600.
Sorry, 1800.
Well, that's fine. Flynn has workaholics, so he's still gonna check in with her. I guess she's technically on watch right now. Then, if she's acting, who is the acting
Yeah,
third
we don't
watch
know
commander?
who's on the teams.
So I guess I'll have to check in with the when I'm reporting to the XO and handing over the codes and the 10 grand that remained. Find out what's the who's acting as third mate. Is it the bosun or is it our new deck cadet?
I guess that depends on whether or not the cadet is actually qualified.
It will be the bosun. Will become third.
Really?
Well, she's next on the ranks. Do you have her as next?
Well, I know in a military situation, that's not an officer. That is an actually enlisted. I don't know how they separate it in a civilian structure, but they're technically the highest ranking able seaman. They're not actually an officer.
The bosun mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Navy that would be like a master
Chief of the
chief or senior chief petty officer. Yeah.
In any case, Flynn, you will go to Jen's office or quarters.
Well, if third
No,
team's on
she's actually
duty,
on duty. She'll be in
yeah,
the.
she'd be possibly on the bridge or overwatching the thing.
So you will see her. Give me a reaction roll, reaction roll at -2. You can add any bonuses that are appropriate.
Oh yeah. Let's see what that does. Wow, that's appropriate. All those bonuses, and I got a 7. Wait, is that right?
Doesn't look right.
That's a 7, but it didn't add all of the bonuses. So that should be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 16. Yeah, look at it. It's like, it's just showing 3d6 as a 7. So that's 16. So I think that's like really, really good.
Question. How did you roll it? Did you roll it off the
Off the reaction bonus.
off the reaction thing? What?
Yeah,
happens
I
if I do that?
added all the stuff, and
So
Yeah,
that
it's
one
not
worked,
calculating.
I guess.
yeah, it's
No,
not
it didn't, did
calculating.
it? Huh.
So noted.
There's a bug.
And it appears to be reproduced.
So, 16 was it?
Yes.
So it's a very good reaction. At this point, she seems to be a lot more chill when you approach.
Well, maybe she was doing the investigation and realized the dead chick is responsible.
No, when I said the third officer is responsible for safety, what specifically they were referring to is stuff like inspecting fire extinguishers and stuff like that, the lifeboats and blah blah blah.
Does Flynn
It
have
is
a
still
nickname?
ironic, though.
He does not, that I'm aware of, not yet.
So you will approach her. She has her data pad, and she's like, noting stuff in there. She sees you approach, and she says, "Flynn."
Let's see. They don't Navy types don't differentiate. I'm wondering, this is sort of semi-age of sail, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
tempted to basically have a quirk where he is hyper professional, where he will actually call people rank or Mr.
Do you have
Followed
selfish?
by he does, but I was thinking about changing that.
Well, while you've got it, you can make a roll on selfish. So she just called you by your first name, which slights you a little bit.
Yeah, that's good
Well,
news. He doesn't lose his temper over it.
again, we're on a merchant ship here.
I know, but it's him. It's not on the merchant ships.
But some merchant ships can run, it's all up to the captain, the level of formality.
It is.
Yeah. So I guess
So at any rate, he probably is going to refer to. I was just wondering whether he would call her Mrs. or if he'd stick with the Mister. Wait, she's a bosun. Bosun. Have we made any progress on the investigation regarding the incident earlier today?
She will take a deep breath and sigh. I have narrowed the list of potential people that had access to the gravlifter over the days that we've been in berth. Unfortunately, that list is still over a dozen in size, and that's not including the members of the crew.
Yes, as expected. Very well. Continuing to investigate. Let me know if there is anything you need from me to expedite your investigation.
Aye.
And then he will go do something else. I should probably wait. You don't make a check against workaholic, do you? You just always workaholic. He's going to go off and do more paperwork or something.
All right, so you find some work that needs doing. If there's nothing else that anyone is doing, we will fast forward until 0600.
Why 0600?
Because that's when you're departing.
Oh, right.
Oh, of course. We're on duty when we're doing that. That's awesome. Let's totally scratch the paint.
I wonder if you could just drag the image into that.
Into what?
No, that didn't work.
Oh. You probably could. No, this is not the same one. This is the merchant one.
Well, then we will use the merchant one. But for the moment, you guys will be on watch. The captain is on the bridge, as well as the XO. The roles were as... Where were the roles? So, Tobias, you are navigating. We will need a helmsman. So that will be one of the NPCs. And I'll get Sully to make a freight handling roll. Success means you sign off on everything. The manifest is all good.
Okay.
Everything's loaded. There's not going to be any accidents.
Okay, standard freight handling, and I roll success by 0.
There'll be no
He was a,
issues.
he was a little distracted about thinking of all the money he's about to make.
And I'll get you to make an administration roll to sign off all the paperwork with the High Port.
Looks like all the paperwork is in order. Flynn, Captain, we're good to go on my end.
All right, let's get this underway. Cast aside mooring lines and take us out.
So the captain is doing ship handling.
He will do the... Actually, no, he's going to delegate to Flynn. Flynn, take us out.
Lazy bastard.
Very good. And Flynn will utilize ship handling to begin issuing the appropriate instructions to everyone. Is that the right level? I thought it was slightly higher than that. Hold on, I'm double checking. Nope, it is. That is correct. And success by 5.
Can I get you to make another roll, but put some modifiers in? I want to see if it adds it to this.
Ah,
Good
gotcha.
point. It was working
All
a
right,
bit
here
ago,
it
wasn't
comes.
it?
Okay, that seemed to be working. Oh, wait a sec. Was it?
It's -2. It's,
Yeah, no, it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's just the other thing.
Why that would suddenly stop working?
Because
Oh, I'm not surprised. I've been poking around in the rule set a lot. I think it was 27 files got modified.
You dropped a semicolon, didn't you?
or a comma.
Probably.
Rattling around in there.
There's a penguin loose somewhere.
Yeah, but by 5, so he clearly knows what he's doing.
All right, so there will be the clunk as docking clamps will release as you instruct your comms officer to radio port control to release clamps, and then the ship will begin to pull out, easing away from the high port. Your ship is huge. I need to get used to these non-radial menus.
Yeah, it's taking a little work.
The ship is huge, some 600 and something yards in size. Actually, I've got the PDF up. It was here somewhere. Well, 600 and something yards, I believe it was.
And as the like the former second officer of a freaking warship, I'm totally thinking this thing handles like, oh my god, this thing handles like garbage.
Well, it actually has a handling of -3.
It's
Exactly.
a whale. Wait until we get our Star Destroyer. We can handle a -3 when we can send a wall of fire.
All right, so you will clear the station and maneuver onto your trajectory to the 100 diameter limit. The captain will say, Mr. Flynn, is your course set?
This is the nav space check.
That is indeed the nav space check.
By 8. Indeed it is, sir. And he will pass that on to him so he can review it, because that is standard procedure where Flynn is accustomed to. It's entirely possible he'll just go, yep, okay, whatever.
Give me another reaction roll. Let's see how he wants to get on your case.
Oh, so sad that I can't add any of this stuff. So I just have to go this plus 2, 5, 6,
plenty.
7, 8. No, 6. Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be super awesome.
All right, so you hand him the data pad. He gives it like a 2-second looking over, signs it, and hands it back to you.
That is a 22, by the way.
Hey, just for my knowledge, which are we following? Are we just kind of playing, or are we following a specific procedure? Book for this part, or are we just kind of going
Just
by
standard
the
traveler.
ear?
So navigation space to get to where you're going to jump, and then you'll do your navigation hyperspace to do your jump.
Who's the jump officer?
And then a mechanic jump drive roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll look at the Interstellar Wars. Has a pretty good section.
The jump officer is obviously going to be Dean.
Is it? Because you have to do navigation jump space, right?
No, that's your job.
That's what I meant by jump officer. Like, the officer who has to do the programming and all that jazz. Also, I need to double check to see if I have all the proper bonuses, because I figured it would have been the same, but it's 2 points lower.
So the captain will say, Mr. Flynn, plot us a course to Wildeman. I want to jump in on the 7th planet. We're going to do a what's it called? Wilderness refueling.
Right.
This thing, wow. Okay, so how long is it going to take us to reach the jump point? Because Flynn, being something of a workaholic, will totally take extra time on the plotting for the jump space.
I'm not sure. We'll just say it. I don't have.
It'll probably take
I
hours.
I don't have the table. You're at 1G, 100 diameters. Yeah, I'm not sure how long it would take. It'll be hours.
Did I not have a calculator for that?
There is a table somewhere for 100 diameters of a Earth-sized planet.
We can just like pick a number, like 5 hours or whatever, and look it up for next time.
Yeah, I think it's actually a bit more than that. But so I will take a little extra time to double check, and success by 7 on the jump space check.
So you will successfully plot your course. You'll make good progress. You have however long it takes, so you'll succeed on your jump space roll by lots. So it's the calculator.
I don't necessarily need to go into it right now, but it's there.
You want to plug in some numbers?
If you just want to do it, what's the diameter?
I'll say 8,000 miles.
Well, that makes 100 times easier. How did that go?
1G.
So 6 and a bit hours, looks like.
All right, we can actually time this. Let me adjust the calendar.
Because we're on 120 now.
That's true.
So how many is the a bit?
Looks like probably 20 minutes. So 6:20. Looks like I didn't break it down that way.
Actually, no, that's wrong. 6 hours. Puts it just after midday. Which will make it
Team 2 or Team 3?
Well, I'm figure it's probably all hands for jump.
Got to do the jump dimming.
all right. So Captain will say, all right, Dim the lights. The ship will, all lights will, every second light is turned off. And as you know, this is more tradition than actual fact. Dean, can you give me a jump navigation? Mechanic jump drive.
I assume this is not actually me.
Not necessarily actually you.
Yeah, this would probably be the chief engineer
J-Drive.
for the actual jump.
Easy roll.
Now I have a table for this. That didn't appear. And you reroll.
Now, something you might consider is if we had some of these tables in some of the previous campaigns, you can go into the data XML and actually pull those out.
I don't know if we had it in the Unity version.
I don't know that it'll matter. I don't think the framework changed that much.
Right,
Did
so
we? No. Well, maybe. I guess you could look at it.
6 days, 8 hours.
Oh, that's our jump time.
Yes,
Roger.
8 hours. Wow, that's as accurate as you get it.
$126.
So who's on duty?
So we're just jumping straight in there.
And I totally closed that note. That's an interesting thought. I wonder if you actually know when you're going to exit jump, that you could have call all hands.
I don't recall if you know exactly when.
So this is after 9. That's going to put it, well, what we currently have is Team 2. I don't know if you want to actually change us to Team 3 or something here.
Nope.
Given the,
We are this is the Star Trek crew where it's like the named characters are always on duty during the important parts.
right. Well, the reason is the Team 2 on that particular table is in the third officer slot, not the second officer. So I didn't know if we wanted to bump that or shuffle some things around.
The 4 to 8. Oh, I see. So we would be Team 1?
We would be Team 3. So that one's the one covered by the second officer. The noon to 4.
and midnight 204. No, wait.
Presumably.
Yeah, ugh. Well, that's a terrible watch, so I could totally see the XO putting me on that one.
Now, again, we don't have a third officer at this point, so somebody's going to have to fill in.
There is an NPC.
I'm telling you, it's the cadet. We're having to double check him, and the XO basically has Flynn double checking on the cadet to make sure he doesn't screw things up.
Right.
So Flynn is like got double duty.
Yeah, and actually, just saying that, the captain probably had to send a letter out or a message out to the company to get somebody to send out a replacement, and probably have to send them out ahead of us so we can catch up to them.
Right, so it'll be 11 hours, 11 and a half hours before you make it to orbit of the gas giant, so you can start refueling.
I was going to ask what our next stop was. So we're at Wildeman.
According to the fluorine route path, it's Cordan.
Yeah, so if we're doing jump 2, we could go to Cordan, or we could jump 3 ahead to Aranisir. But the reason I ask is because if we're only doing jump 2, we don't need a full load of fuel.
I'm wondering if the policy would be to always have a full tank of fuel for any jump in case of a mishap.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe. In which case we would have one jump's worth of fuel, jump 1 worth of fuel currently in the tank.
All right, so who's on that watch?
9, almost 10 a.m. So which
Next
one's that?
day.
That's going to be Team 2, third officer. Should have just changed. We'll just change this to Team 3.
All right, so you arrive in orbit and begin to take up your position to begin wilderness refueling. It will take...
So Team 2 is basically the cadet. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
All right, so I'm going to absolutely be standing right behind him to provide aid, but using this as a training exercise. Crap, I don't have teaching. That means I suck as a teacher.
You process 2.5 ton or 2.5k ton of jump fuel. So it takes 3 hours.
We have a scoop.
Yes, you do. You actually have...
I didn't notice that.
22,500. So it takes you 10 hours to refuel.
Now, is that including the refining?
Yes. But as it so happens, Thane.
Well, what's our schedule duration at this station? Are we just going to refuel, drop off any cargo, pick up anything that we're supposed to, and move on?
At the moment, you're just refueling.
Right, but I'm just asking, what's our flight manifest say? How long are we supposed to be here?
As long as it takes to unload and reload because it's 20,000 per day or something like that.
Do we have
Right.
do we have freight for the main world here?
You do. That's why you're jumping to Wildeman. In any case,
Right. So we're gonna be here probably at least today.
well, you'll be here for 10 hours in orbit refueling. You're not in a. Oh, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Traveller. You actually skim the atmosphere of a gas giant, and in doing that, you take in hydrogen, process it to make your jump fuel.
All right.
And
Let me.
because
My
we're at a
question is ask. I'll ask my question differently. So, are we just going to be here the minimum amount of time required? Because we're obviously following a flight plan, big freight company. We're not just here randomly. So, I'm sure we have a plan to be here 10 hours in and out, or hey, we're going to be here 24 hours. Like that's my question.
Oh, you'll be here 10 hours until you've got full tanks, and then you're going to head to Wildeman Primary or Wildeman Prime, which is
which
where
we're at a gas giant, which means we're probably some distance out, so we've got probably days to get there.
However, like I said, the XO will come up to you, Flynn. He says, I need you to jump in the bucket. So-and-so's taken sick. So I want you and some of your people in the bucket.
Very good, sir. Gee, I think I'm going to have to pick Dean and Sully.
Hey, I'm engine department.
Yeah, but you're on team 3.
Yeah, but I'm engine department. You got to talk the Chang into letting me go.
Technically, I think you're off duty right now.
I might be.
In any
Let's
case,
see.
he's on duty now.
Yeah, I think So I see what FX is asking is like once we actually reach the high port, how long are we going to be at the high port?
I will roll random dice.
That's going to depend on how long it takes to move the cargo around, I would guess. And given that this is a low pop, poor world, it's probably not a lot.
You would be doing most of the unloading yourself.
Well, luckily, it's.
I'm not
at
sure.
least
Does this have a high port? Because you are
Class B.
capable of atmospheric landing. You have contragrav.
It has a Class B starport.
Oh. It's probably where most of the population is then.
Yeah, and tech level C. So that means it's tech level 11 carat or 12 carat, depending. I think it's 11 carat. So that would mean, if nothing else, then Sully could at least be like, even though you have to deal with data lag, he could at least start, trying to see, internet, see if there's some place he could potentially sell some of his stuff. Because I'm certainly they have a stellar net or whatever.
They would, but that's not important right now.
Yep.
Now,
Nope.
Wildeman is not on the X-boat route. Actually, all the X-boat routes are in the Third Imperium. Or in Imperial territory, so we're kind of out of it now.
You are delivering the mail yourselves.
Yep.
Indeed.
So sounds like it's the PCs are going to get assigned to the bucket.
So, PCs, you will find yourselves in the bucket. It is not your duty at the minute, but the XO has instructed that you're to take point while refueling takes place.
Chang said I need to go along, make sure it doesn't fly apart. Hi.
Very good. Take your position.
Because I want you to make a roll. Make a mechanic starship roll.
What's that
Oh.
over there?
As you sort of do pre-flight on your on the bucket.
Crap. I'm the person who has to do the flying.
I guess it depends on who we brought along.
Well, we don't have stats for this thing yet, so we don't know what the crew is.
Well,
It's like the GM
we
is
don't have stats
slacking
for the
off.
crew either.
It's like the GM is just super slacker.
What's the mechanic for this? Is this going to be aerospace?
You could do mechanic starship or mechanic aerospace.
Okay. We'll do starship then.
Nice.
Okay.
Margin crit by 10.
I will take it.
You will check it over, and apparently the bucket has brand new duct tape on it, so it's holding together just fine.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I brought some chewable sealant just in case. Want a stick?
Of course you did.
Give me a pilot roll. I'm just crit hunting here.
So is this what is kind of okay? I'm looking. It looks like most of those. How big is this thing?
It's 300 ton.
Damn.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Wait, is that
Like
that's
spaceship's
that's
tons.
mass, not volume? Isn't it?
Okay, so it's not like that. And how big is this one? Nope, that's too big. I'm looking at the options in spaceships too, just to see. It looks like it's probably going to be at -1 handling.
Yeah, that stands to reason. That's pretty standard.
Happy to have you roll first and see if it matters.
Right. Does anybody have a better than 13 piloting high performance spacecraft?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't actually have high performance.
Yeah, I turn it over to you when we're going into aerospace.
That's something I need to actually put
All
on
right,
my
let's see.
training list.
So success by 3.
All right, you don't break anything. You will undock from the hangar, begin to fly your route. You know that your current patrol route, since you are in orbit while the Olympus refuels, there will be points where you are on the dark side of the planet.
That's when the Olympus is destroyed.
No.
So the purpose of the bucket here in this case is just to
Cap sounds
clear
like.
cap. Yeah.
Cap.
Okay.
You will find Over the comms,
Space Kraken.
the bucket, its automatic distress beacon is alerted that there is it has detected a faint distress beacon.
Right. First thing I have to do is contact Olympus and let them know.
Unfortunately, you are in the you're masked by the gas giant itself.
Okay. So I want to plot a course that will allow me to get no longer masked, but start getting closer towards that distress beacon so I can let them know.
Give me a universe reaction.
Good.
I don't like your rolls.
Neener, neener, neener.
All right, so it so happens that you will be able to plot a course that will get you out of the communication shadow of the gas giant, while still getting you closer to the beacon. The distress beacon, you will. Someone can make a communications operations roll if they want.
Anybody but me have that?
I think FX walked off.
Oof, by 1.
The signal is weak and broken, but it is a repeating signal, and it is a Mayday Mayday message from the free trader Starlight Dawn.
Can we isolate where it is coming from with regards to the system?
It's somewhere in vicinity of this gas giant, possibly in orbit itself. Maybe.
Gotcha.
So it's moving.
Well, it appears to be moving, yes.
Right. Olympus, this is Bucket. Be advised, we are detecting a distress signal. Moving to investigate.
You almost hear it over the comms. Like, damn it. And it comes back over the comms. Are you sure you're picking up a distress beacon?
Here's the and I'll promptly transmit the information I am finding back to them.
Stand by. Bucket, you're to proceed and investigate. Render assistance, if possible. Keep us informed with your progress.
Acknowledged, will comply. And then to my 2 party members, it'll be like, all right, let's go to battle stations just to be safe.
Hey, maybe we'll get lucky. They'll have a third officer we can borrow.
Now that you mention that.
Oh no, I'm the only one that's still here. Everybody else blew themselves out of the airlock.
All right, let's see if this shares for you. Did that share?
It does share, yes. Where'd it go?
What about that one?
Yep. That seems bad for them.
All right, you will get to within visual range of this ship. It appears to have taken some damage. You are uncertain on the cause of damage, but it is quite dramatic. The Starlight Dawn is in a degrading orbit around one of the gas giant's larger moons.
All right. Well,
I will get a perception roll, please, from anyone that is taking a look.
is it actually perception or is it another skill?
In this case, it will be perception or visual based. So, if you have any vision based stuff,
By
I'm-
0.
I'm feeling optimistic today. Beer says it's an actual legit distress.
One
Okay.
can hope.
On observation at this present point, you're still on approach, but you're using your cameras and so forth.
Indeed.
You are able to ascertain that both of the standard life pods of a hero class ship, they
Not
have
Hero class. That's Interstellar Wars. This would be Beowulf class, wouldn't it?
sorry.
No, I don't think it would be Beowulf. It would just be
Is it
Fart
not?
Trader? I thought Beowulf was the ship. I didn't know it was the class of the ship.
No, I think it's the name of the ship. In any case, both of the life pods are absent. There is debris that is floating around. The ship is obviously venting stuff into space. And you estimate that you have maybe 12 or so hours before the orbit degrades enough that it's going to begin to re-enter.
Right. Well, gentlemen,
Your
we need
sensors
options.
show no other ships in the area with the exception of the Olympus.
Okay, so in spaceships, how many tons is a Beowulf class?
I think it's 600.
Right.
Okay, so we're half the size, but we might still be able to. I have no idea what the available options are on this. Because my first. Go ahead.
Does it actually have escape pods?
Yes. Oh damn! I can't draw on it because it's not an actual image.
Wow, Beowulf
Oh.
is a class.
In the escape pods are just in front of the sort of intake things on either side.
I don't see it on the deck plan that they have available, but that really doesn't mean a whole lot.
Well, let's do this.
Not that that's super important or anything.
Yeah, so the Beowulf is actually a class. So I guess that cool thing where it's like, this is the Beowulf SOS, that was a hero class. And in honor of that, when they rebuilt it, they named the Beowulf or named it as the Beowulf class. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah.
It's just the first namer of that class happened to get itself in a bad way. Yeah, I think I don't think that escape pod is standard.
In any case, both escape pods are absent.
Interesting. Anywho. Right. So, yeah, we can't do life signs or anything like that. I don't think.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know what the sensors are on this on the bucket, so also don't know what kind of capability it has. But does it have like mag locks? Can we like try to secure the slightly larger ship and just use the drive to lift it free? Does it look like the
Toe.
yeah, basically. Does it look like based off the damage? Looking at that, come on, can I not scroll now? Huh? Can you not scroll? Can you not zoom?
I'll make it an actual image.
Yeah, that's part of the
Oh,
issue. It's not
that's
a real
why.
image.
Okay, I was like, what the heck? Okay, so based off of that, the damage I'm looking there, it looks like it's probably one of the fuel tanks was hit.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
if you
the
take
other
that
looks
literally.
mostly intact. So, um, with our limited sensor capability, I have no idea what the bucket is capable of, but are we able to detect indications of the reactor still being hot?
Well, we should have thermal, so that should show, I think. I don't know if we have it'd be magnetic. I forget how all how the sensors work exactly.
Yeah, but I was sort of thinking, depending upon what this boat is used, or for the bucket is used for, if it's actually occasionally used for cargo transport, we might have the capability to lock on to it. So even if we can't tow it, we could possibly secure the bucket to this thing and then cross into the
Yeah,
thing,
I would
sort of like
expect
mag boots.
I would expect this thing would have some kind of towing capacity just in case we needed an emergency tug, for example, on
There is
the ship.
there
Damn, that thing got jacked up. Once I zoom in and see that thing got really jacked up.
there is a actual modules in spaceships for stuff like
Yep,
that, like external clamps.
yep.
Your
That's
ship
what I was
does not
thinking
have it.
of. Of course it doesn't, because that would be useful. Right. Okay. So, as stated, as previously asked, with the sensor capability of this thing, are we able to detect if if the main reactor is still operational, or what? Is it giving off any energy?
Give me a sensors roll.
All right. Does Dean or Sully have higher than 13 on sensors?
Is Sully actually aboard here?
Yep, we took him aboard.
I'm the +1.
Why the hell did we bring him? Guess he was just bored.
You actually have room for one more. The auxiliary crew is 4.
Okay. Then we totally
I have a
needed to.
14 sensors.
All right, you're on the sensors, boy. So give us a sensors roll. If we have room for one more, then we should totally have a crewman present. I don't know what they're necessarily doing, but apart from maybe wearing a bright red shirt.
All right. The reactor is still hot, but obviously, well, it's still hot, but in a powered down state.
All right. Well, we have been given instructions to render aid as we can, so we'll try to open communications with this thing. Failing that, we probably need to try to board.
Match velocity rotation. Try
Yep.
to dock up.
Give me a pilot roll. And you might as well give me vac suit rolls too, because obviously this ship may not, or may not have atmosphere.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going in. They're presuming that. All right. Good. Let's see. Woo! Success by 1 on the pilot check. Vac suit by 2.
Wow.
This is not how you put that on. So, I'm just totally thinking, Sully might be going, ooh, I wonder how much we could get if we turn this thing or sell this thing.
So that's not going to be a critical fail because you get +4 because it's routine. So that will just be a regular fail.
Means you're going to die horribly.
So the suit, you can get a second roll. You'll go. Oh,
is that how that worked?
I think I put the wrong skill for the suit. I put NBC suit. That doesn't sound like a vac suit.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, just change it to vac suit, and because I think NBC is the same in terms of type. Yeah, I would just change the name to vac suit, and you should be good to go. You know what an NBC? Wait, actually, no. You might not know what an NBC suit is.
Maybe like a biological hazards type of suit.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the old school crap that both me and Giger had to wear over in Desert Shield and Storm back in the day. That charcoal crap.
Like an anti-contamination.
Well, that's an environment suit, I guess.
Can I get a follow-up roll from Dean, please?
Oh, actually, I'm thinking that's the wrong skill anyway. Well, I mean, I guess you roll it to put the suit on, but it's free fall once you get in there.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, damn it, wrong one.
Because you got to put it on.
All right, you're lucky you succeed the second one. So you will notice that your suit was improperly fitted, and promptly fixed that up.
And glanced around to make sure nobody noticed. Right. So
okay.
who are we gonna? Who's the number 4 in this case? What capabilities does this group currently not have?
So it's probably going to be one of the crewmen, the
deck crew. Okay.
And one of the guys that is specifically here for the auxiliary crafts, so he's going to have whatever skill we need.
Right. Okay. Well, now it comes to attempting to. Well, like I said, we were going to try to establish communications, but that might not happen if the escape pods are all gone.
There is no response from communications. That could be, damaged, inoperable communications, or whatever. There's no one there.
Or the fact that, like you said, their escape pods are all deployed. There might not be anybody here. Okay, so what's going to be the best way to gain access to that? Obviously, it's going to be requiring some free fall. What's everybody's free fall skill anyway?
Not good.
You're going to be that guy.
Mine is 14.
Dean's got 15.
Okay.
I'll
So
take my time. I've got a 10.
Ooh.
wow. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I got the minimum requirement to pass the course, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
I didn't spend a lot of time outside in free fall.
True, and like you said, if you only did like a tour and spent, I don't know, a quarter of it in the brig because you kept getting into arguments, it could totally be like, yeah, I did the bare effing minimum. Okay, so we're gonna crap. I guess we need to try to board, but where's the best place to try to do that?
The airlock
So
is up here.
Is
yeah, does this just have the one?
There.
Really?
okay. Well, no, technically you could.
There is also
there's the stuff there for the air aft as well.
there's a hatch at the rear, and then there's the air aft door as well.
And, and then there's the cargo hatches as well, but those on the side.
But there's a big hole where that where all that
Yeah.
stuff would be.
I thought there was
Right.
one on the belly.
There might be. I'm not sure.
Well, it's fine. We can try to go for the top one. So my first thought there is we're gonna instruct. Oh yeah, I guess you need to swap out Sully's token again. We're gonna have. What were their names? What were the two not quite the two mauve shirts we had in the other game? Because I
Oh,
think
that
I was
was
gonna
Smith and Jones.
right. So let's not have a Smith or a Jones. We'll have a Lee, so he will be like sort of Chinese in origin, or I guess it could be Korean because they're also both really good. But we're gonna leave him, since he is like auxiliary crew, he is going to remain on the bucket to maintain communications with us, and if
Right.
absolutely necessary, deploy weapon systems in case this is a terrible, horrible, no good trap.
I'll just use that one as the token. We need to get a proper token for Sully.
Mm-hmm.
You should just make one there, Giger.
If I just make one and he hasn't said anything to me, I'm gonna make it a clown.
Okay, so knowing that, are we gonna? Yeah, I think we might be aware that Sully kind of sucks with regards to that vac suit. So we might want to be going over there, linked together.
Oh,
But
well, I mean, you might want to do that anyway.
it says so use roll against the higher of health or free fall the first time you enter to see if you get sick, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And then it limits any dex based skills. So I mean
Who's
I'm
going
sure I could
first?
just
I do believe we're going to make Mr. Alani go first because A, he is the best in the in the vac suit. I mean, in the free fall, and B, he's the mechanic-y type, so he can try to get
Might have
the
to break
airlock.
in.
Well,
Yeah, get
you
the
put
airlock
yourselves in the
unsecured.
order.
Ah, man, I don't have a security electronic repair.
Oh, do you have the skill?
No.
I do.
Oh, do you? Okay. Well,
Electronic
I
ops
probably got a
security.
pretty
I
decent
don't have
default.
repair, and I think you can probably just. I would make the argument that Spacer should work there as well.
Well, yeah,
because
that would work in some
because I would
cases.
think that unless this is like a tricked out privateer boat, then most ships that if they're like under distress, they should have like emergency access capabilities. Yeah, but yeah. So if nothing else, Flynn is going to have Sully secured, and we should probably all be secured as appropriate.
All right. So put yourselves in that corridor in the order that you're entering. You will
Already
find
closed, whatever this
that
is.
ship's power is obviously not operational, and you have to access the hatch through manual releases.
Yep, we're gonna have that cool emergency thing from the gig.
Yeah. What image are we looking at here?
Starlight, the map at the top.
Up there.
So is where Sully is
Oh.
at? Is that the hatch, or are we backwards?
Yeah, it was
See
really
those
small.
pings? All right, so that's the order.
I think so. Yeah.
All right, so you have to manually
Gotcha.
Yeah, we
open
should.
the
There
hatches.
should totally be a tool for this. And
Well,
I don't know
pop
why.
the hatch.
Yeah.
You pop the hatch, you pull out a little lever, and you just got to wind. And you sit there cranking and cranking, and the iris will begin to open. Soon as you break the sort of seal, atmosphere in the airlock rushes out. So it depressurizes, then you open it up. The three of you drift in, you float in, then you have to crank it back to seal the outer lock, and do the same for the interior airlock. So it takes a little bit of messing around. As you do this, whoever is sort of well, actually, it would be dead silent for all you guys. You're just hearing your as you're breathing. You open the interior hatch, and there's a bit of a pop, but it appears to be atmosphere in this part of the ship.
Right. Well, I don't have anything that can confirm the atmosphere is good, so we need to probably proceed directly to to engineering to see if we can bring the reactor online, and hopefully there's at least the M drive is partially functional, so maybe we can get this thing to out of the terminal decline.
Right.
All right, so
Yeah.
this is a hatch with a ladder that you use to climb down. Who is going down first? Same order?
Why does it
Oh,
matter?
so sorry.
So, question: what is Dean and Sully's suits? Because I know Dean is like super poor, but if he's like gotten just generic regular suit, then Flynn will probably take the lead since I actually have a monochrist vac suit.
No, I got
I
armor.
have a standard ship issue.
Right, you're the one that has the super crappy one. Gotcha, the bright orange one.
Once you
Yeah.
make it into the this passenger area, you will see floating around the place is all sorts of bits and pieces. anything that wasn't sort of locked down when the grab plates turned off is now just sort of drifting around, floating around everywhere. Every now and then there'll be a plink on the helmet of your suit as like a fork or whatever, rotates and
It's just kind of like
bashes
that
into you.
scene in The Expanse where they go to that first ship. I forget, the Canterbury or whatever ship it
Yep.
was.
No, they were on the Canterbury. It
The
was
Anubis.
the
Or
not
Scopuli.
Anubis.
Scopuli.
Scopuli.
The Scopuli. Is that kind of what's happening here?
Yep. We're totally gonna find the person that's stuck in the reactor room, covered in blue glowing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, we're gonna know right
Totally.
the hell out of here. Watch out for vomit zombies, guys.
I know it's kind of hardcore, but did you want us to roll for space
You do
sickness?
need to make your roll on freefall because there is no
'Cause
gravity.
It says on a failure, you're nauseated. You may start choking. Treat this as drowning. Is fit a +1 to health?
Yes,
Not for
on
skill
health
roll.
rolls, but not health-based skills.
Well, it
Damn.
says roll against the higher of health or free fall when you first enter free fall.
Okay, then you can make.
If
then
you-
you can use
would
fit.
apply.
If you fail, you're nauseated. Otherwise, you're unaffected. All right,
Wouldn't have thought of that.
let me roll.
Yeah,
So-
totally wasted a margin crit on that.
What about
Totally
that?
wasted
You were
that.
saying?
Damn, critical success.
Totally wasted.
No, I definitely don't want to die choking in my suit on some random ship in space.
All right. So, is there anything in particular that you want to do in this top deck?
Nope.
We need to clear those rooms. At least peek in the windows and make sure nobody's in there.
These are staterooms, so there is no windows in these. Everyone has their privacy.
Well, try them. If they're locked, they're locked.
Some of the doors are open. Some are closed. You will go about clearing the rooms, and you will open it up. And inside the rooms, there's just people's personals, just sort of floating about. But there's no people in these rooms.
Deck's clear.
All right, let's proceed downward.
In the same order.
Flynn will take the lead since he actually has a proper weapon for this stuff. It's called a arc. Was it arc blade?
Oh.
All right. So this is a ladder that you have to climb.
No, we don't. 0G, buddy.
Well, it is a ladder hatch. So you just float down. Can I
Yep.
get a vision-based perception roll from you, please, Flynn? You can also substitute observation if you wish.
All right. So I've got, I've got basically like dark vision built into the suit. So the darkness isn't going to affect me, but I don't have any enhancements. But success by 5.
Is it dark vision?
think that's what. Well, it's basically, yeah, I think that's what it
Yeah,
is.
I think it's just night vision.
No, it's the other one. Crap, now I have to look it up. Right, success by 5.
Damn it, I didn't update that.
Oh, great. Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell he's bad
What?
because it's got a
He's
red,
red?
thing.
All right,
Nobody,
so
nobody
you,
took me up on that bet.
Flynn, because of your successful perception roll, you will actually have enough time to notice the door of this stateroom will sort of, it was ajar, and you could see movement in the crack. Then the door swings open, and this guy will emerge with what looks to be a Gauss rifle, and he will just sort of unload.
Is there an atmosphere inside the ship?
Nope.
There is atmosphere in this section of the ship,
Yep.
but there is no gravity.
And you did say the lights are out,
Yes.
no power.
Hyperspectral. That's what I was trying to remember, Daniel.
There is like
Right.
emergency lighting and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, so I would have had a +3
Ooh,
vision rolls.
did that work? Range -4, yes.
That his weapon his weapon skill is going to be capped at whatever his vac suit skill is. So that may be lower.
Let me just check.
And I got to figure out what my stinking actual equipment or gear is right now to determine what my damned move is.
I think I might invest in some vac suit skill.
All right, so that's 2 lower. So it would be success by 3. So that's 2 hits.
Right. So this is going to really suck for me.
But you have enough time. You've had enough warning and such to notice that this guy's there, so you can get all your combat reflexes and hand.
I don't have that.
Extra effort and whatever else. I guess you could diving. Maybe no. You probably couldn't diving dodge in 0G.
Well, to be fair, I'm probably also utilizing the mag boots. Well, here goes nothing. Booyah! Critical success by 5.
Damn it.
Ah.
All right, so this guy will unload.
Hey, doesn't that mean he has to roll on the...
No, that
critical
doesn't work unranged.
Boo! Boo!
Yeah, Carrie would be screaming and stuff. Give me a spacer roll. Wow.
Success by 11.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so even though this guy has burst forward and just unloaded, you can see that, well, what happens with the, oh, excuse me, what happens with the recoil of the Gauss rifle is it begins to make him flip. So there's like just, because it fires off 12 rounds, all his rounds will miss, but he's now, doing backflips. And
Gauss rifles are electromagnetic.
Yeah, they still have recoil too.
Not very much.
Well, it's enough in 0G for him to start flipping back and stuff. In any case, you can see that this guy absolutely has not had any weapons training in 0G, because now he just looks like an awkward dude that is flipping around.
He looks like me.
Probably in a minute, yeah.
The odds on of him being able to get off another effective shot are pretty slim until he can stabilize himself.
Well, I'm sort of planning on trying to get over there and take him, not necessarily kill him, but capture him, because I simply based off that, I suspect the name Bad Dude is BS, because well, I suspect he's probably like a survivor.
He's a bad dude. He shot at you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Good point. Good point. Hold on.
Well, if it were Malcolm Reynolds, he would have shot at us too. Yeah, that's true.
I should have rolled that last time and I forgot about it.
All right, you managed to keep it cool.
All right. Well, so are we going to the top of the round?
Yes.
Probably want to change the round number to 1 and make me the active person.
Work.
Okay, I have a quick question. Because of the gear, my move is obviously reduced somewhat. However, we're in 0G.
I
So
think you
how
have full
far
move.
can you get full move in 0G?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so I'm gonna do something really stupid, because this guy is like now currently off his feet and sort of tumbling. So I'm gonna spring forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But so I'm just doing a move.
Crap.
Dean,
Wasn't ready.
you'll have to, if you're going to go down, you'll be able to get to the bottom there by the end of this turn.
Oh, okay. Then
'Cause you're
I'm going to do
you're
that.
Still in the ladder axis.
Right. Moving.
You still crawling?
No.
Effects, posture, crawling.
Yeah, I see that. Oh, well, I was in the process of trying to remove it. Did we fix that? Where you couldn't
You should
remove
be
your
able
own?
to.
Okay. I
You can
haven't
try it.
tried.
All right, so this guy is going to attempt to sort himself out. In this case, he will begin to sort of stabilize himself. But that's all he can do this turn.
All right, so I'm probably hearing all the gunfire,
You're not
or
hearing
we're
anything.
chattering, or we're talking over the comms. So I'm like, oh fuck. So he's gonna. I don't know how practical it is. Like, would I have my normal pistol in a vac suit, or
Sure,
would I have maybe? Okay.
you
Yeah.
could
So
have it holstered.
he'll draw his he'll ready his pistol. Shoot, I'm trying to pull up the map. Am I still in the game?
Yeah. I'm seeing you still in the game.
Do you feel like you're in the game?
Oh, there we go. For some reason, oh, never mind. So he will, it's a step, right? Draw, ready maneuver plus a step.
Well, at the moment, you're still in the hatch.
Right. So can I ready and step out of the hatch?
You'll be at the bottom. You'll have to spend this turn to get down. So next turn you'll be where Dean is.
Okay, so that guy is there. So I am going to step and right before I do that, it occurs to me I didn't do this earlier, and I should have, where it was like, okay, so I was successfully able to fast draw my weapon. So he's going to ignite it and take. He's going to get right up there on this guy, but he's not going to attack this round. Obviously, the guy can't hear me, but I'm utilizing. Oh yeah, hey, I can do this. He can see my face, so I'm going to utilize the fearsome stare perk, which allows me to use intimidation without saying a word.
All right, make a roll.
All right. Good deal. Success by 5. Don't.
All right, so this guy is laying some bricks.
Well, he should. I just ignited a. Don't call it a lightsaber. And so he should be like, oh no, what is that? Oh, yeah. And I need to do the thing, don't I? Damn it. That thing popped up. Thank you. The thing popped up just as I was about to click on the button and covered the next actor button.
Okay.
All right, Dean, you can move.
So I am at the bottom of the access.
Wow. 2 times basic move.
And if I can see the bad dude is looking at Flynn at this point.
He might be looking at my arc blade.
He's still, flopping about like a fish out of water.
Okay.
But he's managing to slowly stabilize himself.
Oh, would I deduce that his attention is upon Flynn at this point?
Well, his attention's probably not on either of you. He's just trying to
Fair enough.
Manage himself.
Okay. Then at this point, I think I am just going to kick off and head for the other side of the area here. So he's going to float on by, just doing a move.
Seeing that it's like 2 times. Wow, it's like, holy crap, I could have gotten right up there on him.
But then you would have been floating, not mag booting.
True. Arc field weapon, that's what it's called.
Lightsaber that's not a lightsaber.
No, it's an arc field weapon.
All right, so this guy will stabilize himself and re-ready the weapon.
All right, so he will.
That's where you'll be able to get.
Yeah, he's going to move out cautiously. Can I do a perception roll or observation?
Sure.
Just to see if there's anybody else hiding or whatnot. He steps out and he's looking around, seeing what's going on.
All right. Well, you will see the situation.
Just the one dude.
At present, you only see one dude. There's
Everything
stuff.
else looks normal.
There's stuff just floating around everywhere. So there's, cushions and, you know, bits and pieces of furniture and ornaments and whatever. It's everything's sort of floating around everywhere. It's a bit of a mess in here. Lynn.
So I realize he's not going to be able to hear me, but he might be able to see me as I am going to take a weight, with the trigger being if he tries to wheel around and shoot me, then I'm going to have to cut him down. But as like a free action, I'm going to be mouthing, or just outright saying, even though he can't hear it, is like, put it down.
Do you have gesture or something like that?
That would require an actual action, and that so I wouldn't be able to do a weight. Correct?
Yeah.
Communicating is typically a free action. Gesture, maybe.
I
Sure.
mean, I don't have gesture, but that would totally be a spacer thing, wouldn't it?
Potentially.
You could, if you wanted to communicate, do the whole, put your helmets together and yell at him.
Right, but he's not going to voluntarily do that.
Yeah, he's not going to let me do that. So I think he's going to probably be gesturing, even though I'm not going to make the gesture thing, with the free hand to, put the weapon down.
All right, so make an IQ roll. I think gesture's like IQ -5.
I will double check while Dean
It's
does.
It's not going to be more than -5 penalty.
Okay, Dean is going to advance forward here toward the corner, feet planted, and peek around the corner this way. Make sure there's not somebody coming down that hall.
Looks like the cockpit or flight deck is empty from what you can see. Okay, so this guy will stop sort of struggling and just sort of submit to you. Or surrender to you.
If that's the case, it's like, just sort of yank the weapon free and, make sure that's not there, and, then touch the helmets and it's like, who are you? Identify yourself. The combat tracker says you are bad dude. Wow, he looks a little freaked out.
He does a bit.
If you have body language, you are
do.
welcome to roll. Roll it in the box, please.
Rolled in the box.
All right. You can see from his body language that he's, on the verge of like a panic attack, freak out. He says, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
Who are you and what happened?
He says, my name is Taran.
right, Taryn, what happened? How did this ship get wrecked like it is?
Says we were attacked. Well, it takes a moment for him to like settle, because he's having like a minor freak out. So it takes a bit for him to settle.
All right, then can I actually step in there and like utilize leadership to sort of like secure the weapon, and he's like like sort of grab his shoulders and he's like, Taryn, I need you to focus. Come on, focus right now. Sort of try to help him out of it.
Sure.
Ooh, by 9. I don't have my usual dice.
All right, so you see he starts taking a few breaths, like, and he calms, and he says, you're not with them. You're here. You're the rescue.
That remains to be seen. We're here with. Okay, who's them?
The people that attacked. I don't know who they were.
Dean, go ahead and take Sully in the back. See if check on the reactor.
Roger.
I'll try to get more information. All right. When did this happen?
He says maybe two days. I've lost track of time.
Okay, so Flynn
I thought I was going to die.
Flynn is going to lean back so the helmets are no longer touching, and he's going to transmit to the
you will
bucket.
see, while you're doing this, you will see that he keeps talking. So,
crap.
Clearly this guy is a little out of water.
Right. Yeah, but I need to make sure that Crewman Lee on the thing is well aware of what's going on and relates it on to the Olympus, so they know that they've definitely got some potential pirate activity in the area, and we have at least one possible survivor. Then lean back and touch the helmets like, so start over. 2 days.
He says, yeah, like I said, I think 2 days ago we were attacked. It seemed to come out of nowhere. And the captain gave the order to abandon ship as the ship was beginning to be boarded. I didn't make it to the escape pod in time, and they left me here. I thought I was gonna die.
We're all gonna die, just not right now. Yeah, if Sully can actually log into the computer, I'm not sure if they have necessarily the power. Well, we've got life support, so there might be some power.
I think he said it was on backup power, so should be enough to run the computers at least.
Sure, give me a computer operation.
Okay, and I also have like sensors.
It defaults to IQ if you don't have the skill.
In this tech level, if somebody doesn't have computer operation, they're barbarians.
Success
that's
by
why it defaults to IQ.
Oh,
All
you
right.
were talking about Traveler. I was talking about modern day.
Well, even modern day, I think tech level 8 and above, you get computer operation at IQ.
Yes, and if somebody doesn't know how to use a computer today, they're barbarians.
Yeah, they're from Tech Level 7. All right, so you are able to fire up the computer. However, things like sensor logs and such, you're not able to access. You do not have the appropriate command codes.
Can we ask old bad dude for the codes? Hey, Flynn, I got into the system, but I have limited access. I don't have the codes. Can our buddy here help us out with that?
Right. I'm going to escort him up there to join Sully. See if we can get as much information about these pirates as possible. And the ship, too. Who knows? We might have to... There may be a finder's fee.
All right, so you will take him over to the terminal. He says, "Oh, I don't know about sensor logs, but I can give you my access code," and he will sort of key it in, and the terminal will sort of get past the login screen, and at this point you will need to make another computer operations roll. Actually, no, you succeed by 4, so that's plenty.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you can start looking through sensor logs, and from what you can tell, there was a contact, and the operators tried to identify this contact. They did not manage to do as such. The ship that came in was not using a transponder, so transponder was turned off, which you would probably know if you have electronics op computers. That is a crime, and so ships have to be specifically engineered to be able to turn off the transponder. Typically, military ships can do it, whenever they want, but civilian ships can't. There was some weapons fire, obviously. The ship was damaged, and then sensors and all that went offline. Dean, you have to go through a pressure bulkhead to access engineering, and it'll become apparent to you that engineering does not have an atmosphere.
Right. Okay. Can you see in there? There's a porthole or anything in the bulkhead, or the door?
Well, you can. I've assumed that you've gone through it, so you're in engineering. So you've passed the bulkhead. You're in engineering, but there is no atmosphere here.
Okay, but that would mean that I had to go through an airlock.
Right. So you have pressure doors. You have one door, then another pressure door, which isolates the ships.
Okay, gotcha. Is this section open? Is there
is
a hole?
There is a big hole open to space. This hole also opens into the cargo bay and basically has breached a couple of decks. If you give me a mechanic starship roll, or if you have more appropriate mechanic starship's going to be fine.
That should be fine. I will roll that. And I will roll in the middle. So 5 up.
So the reactor has done a automatic safety shutdown.
Gotcha.
So it's still on. It's not off, but it is not in a state where it can go critical or anything like that.
Okay. I'll relay that the reactor was hit, or the engineering is hit. Reactor's on standby. I am going to evaluate and see if it can be safely engaged.
I will get you to make a perception roll.
All right.
I kind of want you to fail this one.
Here comes the green glowing shit.
Is it visual?
It is vision-based, yes.
I did not put that down there. That's the thing that I need. I have visual enhancement, by the way. I don't have it all set up, though. Blah, blah,
Roll,
blah.
see if it matters.
We'll see if it matters. Nope.
All right, are you going to get enough bonuses to make that a success? No. Awesome. You are sort of...
You've killed us all.
You are dicking around
Why is your
with
perception so low?
The engineering and stuff. Can you give me a fright check, please?
Green glowing zombie, vomit zombie.
Right. Yeah, where did I put that stuff? Yeah, this is not my usual combat happy character here, so although I might hold it, I'll hold it together.
All right. Well, you will hold it together, but you're dicking around with stuff. You're moving debris to get access to things that you need to sort of check over to see if you can establish some sort of rudimentary power, maybe to the maneuver drives, just so you can make sure this ship's orbit doesn't degrade any further. You move a panel, and a body sort of flies at you. Oh. You have a minor freak out, but you're cool. However, you will notice... Actually, I will get you to do a perception roll.
Vomit zombie.
Or actually, IQ, not perception.
IQ. Roger, IQ. All good.
You're looking at this body. From the look of it, it looks like a pirate. And it's been shot up, so there's like Gauss rifle holes in the vac suit. But you're looking at the body. There doesn't appear to be any blood, and the corpse inside is not like 2 days old. It is much older.
Dead pirate. I'm just going to set him aside over here for now. You don't go anywhere, buddy. I'll get back to you.
Well, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Anyway, safety eval on the reactor. See if it can be spun up entirely.
You will be able to see that it won't. You have enough backup power, so you can do some rerouting of the polar power flux conduit.
Uh-huh.
Actually, where's your table? Yeah, so the hydraulic coil is jammed. You can unjam that, and that'll give you backup power, which you believe that you'll be able to utilize to stabilize the orbit using maneuver drives, but it will drain backup power.
Right. I will. I'll relay.
And that
Right,
will obviously result in life support running out and all the other things that go with it.
Right. Well, if we can stabilize it, that's probably fine, because once as long as we can make sure it doesn't just die. Because if nothing else, the Olympus should be able to tow this thing without any difficulty once they're finished refueling.
Yeah, I'm wondering what standard practice is in a case like this. Do you just slap a beacon on it and let the company know that somebody needs to come out here and salvage?
Talking about it, I want us to be able to sell it.
Well, that
Legitimate
depends entirely
salvage.
on whether or not somebody's got a claim on it.
Legitimate salvage.
Oh, that's a good question. Does Sully actually have law?
I do. I mean, I know the rules for salvage, but as a player, I'm guessing my NPC does, or my player character does as well. Either way, we're not, it's not our, even if we claim it, we'll be claiming it on behalf of our company, not us.
Yeah, but we'd get a share for that, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yep. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
probably get some
but
bonuses.
if the company that currently owns the ship claims it, then obviously we can't sell it.
Right. So this Terran dude is not linked into our comms. So
should be able to get him a freak.
Hold
Or
on.
not.
Before that happens, Flynn is actually going to instruct Sully to, since he has at least some access, to get a crew manifest and passenger manifest and all that from here, just to confirm that this guy is actually who he says he is.
Yeah, I can download all the files that I can, the manifest you're asking about, and maybe the sensors logs, see
Yep.
if that'll help identify the ship.
So you're trying to, well, you know what the ship is. It is the Starlight Dawn.
No, I think he was talking about the pirate ship.
The pirate ship, just so we can, if we encounter it in the future.
Well, you don't. The pirate ship was not transmitting any ID.
Right,
No
but
IFF.
as much information as we can get from it.
But you can get the sensor doogie
Yep.
lackeys. With crew manifests, you
And cargo.
You can get the cargo manifests and such as well.
Speaking of, Did they have cargo?
They do have cargo.
So-
There is obviously cargo that has come loose and cargo that has been destroyed.
So pirates attacked them and didn't take the cargo.
It would seem that way.
Interesting.
On the crew manifests, you will find this guy on the list, and he is marked as the ship's cook, steward.
You can never trust those guys. That mean wait, and he's
Steven
not a Navy
Seagal
SEAL?
is not,
Oh.
unless he's putting on a really good act.
No, I've seen Steven Seagal act. He can't do that good.
He's not John Silver either.
Right. So, yeah. So we'll have to stabilize it and then withdraw back to, I guess, the whatchamadoohickey, and let the Olympus know that, hey, we've got partially derelict, almost functional Beowulf class here. Also want to check all the other rooms to make sure there aren't any other people going to jump out and there's no glowing blue alien shit.
Yeah.
All right, you can do that just fine. That's not a problem at all. I
Make
will
sure
need
to take Terran along with me.
I will need a couple of rolls. I'll need the mechanic starship to do your power rerouting. I'll need a navigation space to plot a stable orbit, and then I'll need a pilot high performance spacecraft to put the ship into that stable orbit.
Right.
What do you want first?
Doesn't matter. You need
Oh
them
yeah,
all.
I guess need the mechanic to see if it even matters. Because like
Well,
if you roll an
that's true.
18, maybe you blow up the reactor and we all die.
I have not blown up the reactor.
All right.
Yeah, so success by 3 on the nav space, and technically by 1 or by 0. I don't remember what the Beowulf handling is for the pilot.
It'll be fine. You can use extra time and stuff as well. So, and even if you fail a roll, the stability rate, you have to fail by more than the stability rating.
Right.
So you're going to be fine. So the ship is in no danger of crashing.
Yep.
You do have. Let me see.
We could probably bring a portable generator over from the Ollie if we need to do something else here.
Or worst comes to worst, we could just have them transmit to the high port to dispatch SAR.
Yeah.
I will get, since you're doing all this, you're doing the piloting and stuff. I will get whoever's doing the flying to make a electronics ops communications.
Success by 2.
So you're going about your business, doing what you got to do. Then you'll notice on the comm a signal. The panel indicates that there is a brief signal. You do not have time to answer the call.
Here comes the pirates.
It is kind of weak, staticky, but it was a definite signal. With your electronics op communications, you can see that the signals seem to originate from the surface of the moon below.
Moon? Where I thought we were in a gas giant.
Yes, you are at a gas giant, but this ship was at one of the moons
Oh, okay.
of the gas giant.
Oh, okay. That might be where the frickin' escape pods went.
Oh, well, or that.
Crap. Yeah, there's not a whole lot we can do with in this thing.
No, I could potentially take the bucket over there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Damn,
The
that's gonna
bucket
be
is
tough.
transatmospheric. From what you can tell, the moon does have an atmosphere, a thin one. And
Great.
by the, I don't know if you can, if it, you see it in the picture. Where was it? In this picture here, you see the moon below. Its atmosphere is like green and toxic looking,
Right.
so it probably has a taint.
Snicker.
Yeah, I said taint.
Well, that's awesome. So I think once we've got this thing stabilized to where it's not going to, probably not for a very long time, crash, then the four of us are going to have to withdraw back to the bucket, which is going to be really, really tight quarters at this point, since it's going to have 5 people instead of 4.
And it's already tight with 4.
Exactly. And we're going to have to advise Olympus of what we have done, or what we've accomplished. Where it's like, okay, Beowulf class, heavily damaged. It's current now in a stabilized orbit, but it needs proper. It's going to need to be towed someplace. We have 1 survivor, and we have detected 1 survivor from a pirate attack, and we have detected a brief transmission from the moon below, which may be, well, maybe the pirates, maybe the escape pods. Please advise.
Bucket.
Hey, Top. Oh, go ahead.
Bucket. This is actually no. It'll be Mr. Flynn, as you hear the voice of Thane as he takes over the comm from the whoever was operating the comm with your call. He says, "We're going to be stuck here refueling for quite some time. If you feel that there is more survivors at your liberty, please investigate."
Will comply, Olympus. Please transmit a towing or SAR request to the high port, and we will advise you of our findings. Well,
Hey, Top. Can I borrow you for a second?
Was that to me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Sure. Not like we have a lot of private space here.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming we're not actually on the thing yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, right.
And he's going to show you the body back there and mention the fact that he looks like he's been here a lot longer than this attack was.
I'm gonna grab Taryn and pull him in here and ask some questions. This guy looks like he's been in here for a very long time. What exactly happened?
He will shrug and say, I don't know. I guess that looks like one of the pirates. We didn't get time to do any shooting. We abandoned ship before they got here. He is telling the truth, or you don't detect any falsehood in what he's saying. And I guess his body language puts him a little uneasy. Not he's already frazzled, but yeah.
Yep. Well, we'll have to see what we can find down there, dirt side. This is proving to be an interesting day.
Yep, that's what I said when I got up, rolled out of bed this morning. I want to go visit a derelict ship and find a dead body.
All right, so that will have us at time. So your plan is to
Go investigate that communication signal and hope that it's just the stranded survivors and not a whole bunch of pirates ready to blow us out of the sky. Unless all the pirates are drunk and or dead and they've got a super awesome warship just sitting there that we can steal.
And rum.
Yeah, because they've drank all the rum and the rum was poisoned in this case.
That's totally going to happen.
The rum shouldn't be gone.
So the signal is not continuing to transmit. It was only a brief. You managed, whatever broadcast the signal managed to break through the, whatever. There was static. You tried to respond to it, but didn't get anything. But you did manage to pinpoint the location of the signal to be on the surface of that moon.
Well, we want to investigate the source of the signal. Like I said, I'm kind of hoping it's not pirates. Okay, I might be hoping it's pirates. It's going to just depend.
All right. Well, unless there's something special that you want to do, we will use this as a place to stop.
Dive towards the planet.
Everyone, actually, I'll make.
That's probably for the best because I got to get up really early tomorrow.
You're taking Taran with you?
Yeah, well, we're not going to leave him on the wrecked derelict.
Yeah.
Especially since we drained all the battery power, and that means the life support is going to start failing.
I've set him as neutral on the tracker. Can you move his token?
Let me reopen the map. No.
What about now?
Yes.
Okay. So he'll be green for the moment.
Super green.
So everyone will get 2 points.
Roger, T.
Shiny. Now what do I want to spend them on?
Yeah.
All the things. All the things.
If the GM doesn't mind terribly, and I suspect he doesn't, I am going to go ahead and retro add piloting high-performance spacecraft, because I realized that getting the aerospace craft into the atmosphere requires being in space a little bit.
And I'm actually going to do the opposite and get the aerospace one.
Well, you have you have up until we begin next session to
Well, that's
do
an
any
additional
tweakings.
point. That's not.
I have both skills, but
tweaking.
at a basic level.
Well, you can still tweak. You can use your earned points to tweak. That's fine.
Well, I've tweaked.
Sorry, what was that? FX?
Oh, I'm just saying I have both piloting skills already, but at a basic level, just because I figured he piloted a couple of small ships in his background.
Well, you might end up needing contragravity if you don't have that one too.
Yeah, I
do
have
not
all
have
three
that.
of those.
But I do have a high, I forget if I have high spacer skill, because I was figuring that if Flynn was directing the pilot through, what's the one, ship handling or?
Ship handling, yeah.
Yeah, if you were directed me, I could fly a spaceship at a level 15.
Cool. Oh, I have to keep that in mind. Make you drive while I sit back and tell you what to do. Then we're less likely to crash.
Maybe during the week we should apply names to the rest of the crew. There's not that many.
Yeah, well, we need to at
unable
least
to
get
do
the
so.
Chang.
Yeah,
And we can work out the chain of command.
Yeah, I'm going on vacation this weekend, so I'll have very limited connectivity. But cool.
There was a couple of bugs in the fantasy grounds. What were they?
Reactions.
The reactions.
We're not.
And there was something else.
Was that the yard?
Yeah. That's the only one that I can think of.
Maybe it was just the reaction one. Yeah. All right. So we'll leave it there.
Cool.
Let me bring up my outro.
Do the thing.
If you are watching this and you have any questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Please consider liking and subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Bye-bye.
Off you go.